hot pan in my hot soapy water, and I'm going to just spread this out a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want it too thick, so you want to kind of spread it out. If it's too thick, it's hard to eat because, you know, we did cook it to 300, which is a hard crack. So I'm just moving it over a little bit. This isn't like peanut brittle where it needs to be brittle, not just hard, so I can move this around. I don't have to be afraid of getting the air bubbles out. Okay, that looks good. Okay, this is set for just a couple of minutes, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my 12-ounce package of chocolate chips, and I'm going to sprinkle approximately half of it on my toffee. And set the rest of it aside. And when I can go like that and it's hard, then I know that I can spread it out. Spoon, go like that. You can hear that it's hard. Now it's softer in the middle because it's a little thicker in the middle. But do you see the color now? It's a caramel color. It was lighter than this in the pan, and now it's just the color that it's supposed to be. So now I'm going to spread out these chocolate chips with the back of a spoon. If you don't want to do it this way, you can melt your chocolate in a double boiler and pour it on, spread it out. I just do it this way. I don't have to dirty up another pan, and it's easy. You just can't wait too long to put your chocolate on, or your toffee will get cold, and then or too cool to melt your chocolate. So get to the edge here. Okay, it's all spread out. Looks pretty even to me. So now the recipe calls for 2 cups of chopped nuts. These are nuts that I have run through my hand grinder. They're finer than you would get if you did it with a knife. So got a cup here, and I'm gonna just sprinkle it over as evenly as I can. Can put a cup on each side. I don't always do that because a lot of these nuts will fall off anyway. So, but I do use more than a cup altogether, but probably not a whole 2 cups. Well, maybe I do use 2 cups. Okay. Now, my next step is I take another piece of foil and I'm going to put it right over this, and then I'm going to lightly do this. One thing that does is it puts the kind of buries the chocolate into the the nuts into the chocolate, so they don't fall off so easily. So now I'm going to pick up the pan, and I'm just going to flip the whole thing over. Then I'm going to lift off the pan. You need to be careful because the pan is hot. And then I'm going to take the bottom piece of foil, and I'm going to put it back into the cookie sheet. And then I'm going to gently press this down. Okay. Now, I'm going to let this rest for 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes it gets a little stuck, and what you want to do then is just stop and let it cool off a little bit longer. I used to think that I didn't butter my foil well enough, but I've come to realize that I really think that it is the toffee is just too soft, so it kind of sticks to it. Okay, so now I'm going to take the rest of my chocolate chips and I'm going to spread them out. And I'm going to wait for them to melt or get soft. Okay, most of the chocolate chips are getting soft, so I'm just going to start spreading them out here, and as the ones that aren't quite melted, they'll melt as I'm spreading. People often ask me how I get chocolate and nuts on both sides. Well, I just showed you. Sometimes when you buy homemade English toffee, it does just have chocolate on one side. Another word for this, almond roca, is a popular candy, and it's real similar to this. I've always used semi-sweet chocolate. I don't know what it would taste like if you used milk chocolate, but I have a feeling it might be a little too sweet. So I'm just rubbing this with the back of my spoon, spreading it out. Any little lumps that I see, I'm just going over them again, because those are just unmelted or not completely melted chocolate chips. Making candy is a lot of fun. I do it every Christmas. Started making it over 30 years ago, probably more like 35. First year my husband and I were married, we didn't have any money to buy Christmas presents for the family, so got out cookbooks, got out some of my mom's recipes, and made candy. Okay, this looks all even. Whoops, there's some chocolate on the top of my spoon. Let me get that mixed in. Okay. Now I'm going to take my other cup of nuts and sprinkle these on it. English toffee should be stored not in the refrigerator, but if you have a garage that you can put it on a table in an airtight container. Ziploc bags work well. Tupperware works well. Just anything that is kind of airtight. It stays fresher that way. Just trying to get this kind of even here, so it all looks like okay, this is done. We're going to let it set till the chocolate gets cold and hard again. I'll probably put this leave this in the house for a couple hours. Then I'm going to wrap it in foil and put it out in the garage until tomorrow. And then at that time I'll just break it up into the size pieces I want and put it in storage bags. For this and other recipes and a couple of other videos, make sure you go to www.jesussaveshafter.com. Enjoy.